Welcome back to OpenLine. We are talking about gun violence across the country, and gun violence right here in our city, in Nashville. We have with us Earl Jordan, founder of Partners in the Struggle, and then Alicia Baker and Talia Simmons, both of whom have been touched by gun violence. We're streaming live on our Facebook page, where there's already a robust discussion. Daryl Brewer said mental health is the problem. And then Darlene Wiley says, no, it's not mental health, it's lack of parenting, humility, and respect. And I think you all kind of echo all of that. Mm-hmm. Alicia, I want to get to you. Talia, thank you for sharing your story. Continue talking to you. Alicia, tell us your story. What happened?
On June 17th in 2008, I was shot 5 times at my workplace. It was formerly Tip Top Salon in Old Hickory, Tennessee. My husband and I were going through a divorce, and he wasn't happy because he was about to go to jail violating order of protection for about the 3rd time. So knowing this information, he had representation legally, so did I. So he had found out about it, you know, per his attorney, per mine, you know, this is what's going to happen. And he got mad and he walked into my workplace and he decided to shoot me.
He shot you 5
times?
Oh.
Yes, 3 in the chest, once in the hand, and once in my neck. And I still have the bullet in my neck. They couldn't remove it, and they said by the x-rays it looks like I'm paralyzed by the neck down, but I'm not. But I actually could feel that, but I was just praying the whole time. That's what, you know, I was screaming for Jesus to help me, and that's what my mother gave me. 6 months after that happened, my mom actually died. But it is a lack of parenting. It is, you know, not showing kids problem-solving skills. It is mental health problems. I can tell you that my ex-husband, or estranged husband, however you want to say what he was, but he had those problems. It was a lack of parenting. He had a troubled mind, and he had not been taught, you know, how do you solve a problem when you're angry or upset? You know, how are you supposed to do this to where you come to a solution for whatever problem you're having? Guns are not a solution to any problem you are ever having. That's not the way, you know. And
when he walked into the store that day, did you know that's what he was there to do? What did you think when you saw him walk in that door?
I knew. And I mean, like, my attorney actually told me, he was like, don't go to work. Don't go anywhere that's familiar that he can find you, because he's going to be mad, you know, because he keeps violating this order. So if you're bold enough to keep, you know, harassing and all this, which he was, then they're dangerous at that point. But there was a haircut that I really, really, really wanted to do. And, you know, I was struggling. You know, I was a mother of 2 small children. You know, I had 1 still in diapers, going through a divorce. I needed money, you know, so I needed to go and do this haircut. So I had it done in 20 minutes. I took the cape off. I was getting ready to turn her loose, and he came through the door.
Good grief. Is there something, whether it be, and maybe you've touched on it, whether it be a law that you feel could be passed or a program that could be implemented, is there something that could have helped stop what happened to you?
Not for me. No, not for me, because at that point, well, I mean, unless they were able to pick him up right then, but they weren't. So it was something about the automatic stay for the laws, and like, I kind of get sideways over some of the stuff for domestic violence. Like if somebody has the order of protection and the judge says, oh, you can go to a residence or go get your belongings, or there's cooling off period or whatever it is, and some of them have been turned loose per the judge's discretion, and then come back and, you know, be the wife, girlfriend, whatever. Like I feel like those kind of laws would have maybe helped me, but that's not necessarily like in the gun part.
So you're part of this organization. Why? I mean, what is it you are?
He called me up and presented me with a beautiful trophy and was like, you're a testament to, you know, what we're trying to stop. You know, will you speak? Do you want to speak? You know, what's your heart? You know, and I love what he does, because you have to, we're talking about it in the break, like you have to like bring these issues up. Like you can't just decide, oh well, this has happened and it's bad or sad and we don't like it, so we don't want to deal with it. These are hard things, these are hard truths, and you know, we're either going to have to like make room for more cemeteries, or we're going to have to build bigger prisons, because that's what's happening. That's what's happening everywhere. It's not just here, like it's everywhere. There's a problem, and it's not, a lot of it I feel like starts at home, because that's, I can tell you firsthand, that's what my ex-husband's problem was. He didn't have the right proper care training, you know, he didn't have that.
The debate over gun control is so divisive in this country that sometimes I feel like people don't even talk about the issue at all, because they're worried it gets into that debate. It sounds like y'all are coming on here and you're not even necessarily saying we need more laws, or you just want to talk about the problem that's out there.
Everybody has a part to play in it.
The violence that you're seeing.
Yes, whether you're a mom or a judge or a lawmaker or a mayor or whoever you are, in whatever, I mean, you can look at what can I do, you know, and for me, like, I want to raise 2 good children to be functioning properly in society. I want to teach them problem solving, and I actually asked Brother Earl if he would write me a letter of recommendation to go back to school, because at some point I would like to be a guidance counselor for youths when they're having a problem, a crisis, whatever. You know, I want to be able to help, and even though they might not be getting it home, you know, like I want to feel like I have some kind of purpose in it too. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go to the phones here. We have several calls. Let's go to Reverend Fuzz. Hello, Reverend Fuzz.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. I watched 3 generations of kids come up, and I saw the difference in the ones who succeeded and the ones who ended up in the criminal justice system. And it's unfortunate to know 40 kids who ended up in the criminal justice system. Nobody should know that many people. Yeah. But the difference in those children who went on to college and got their education was that they had a parent or a grandparent who made them do their school work. They had somebody who said, you go to school and do what the teachers say. I feel sorry for the failures out here that hurt. One little boy told me, Reverend, I ended up like this. I'm in class. I kept raising my hand. All I wanted to know was what page they were on, and I kept raising my hand, and the teacher sent me to the office because I did, and I said, to hell with it. So that turned him away. So we've got to help the kids. Some of the homes can't do it. When we say it starts at home, a lot of homes got it under control. Some homes can't do it. And we talk about it being, I hope y'all reply, as though it's some kind of epidemic that's all over the community. Nobody's talking about the great successes, that there are more African-American boys in college now than there are in jail. In 2000, there were more African-American boys in jail than there were in college. It never made breaking news that that number flipped. And
so that number has flipped, so that's the good news.
The common denominator, and I'm done, is poverty and education. There's an exception to the rule, but in most of this, the violent crime stuff is happening where you got poverty and lack of education.
All right, Reverend Fuzz.
And Earl, thank you, man. You're doing great. I will follow you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev.
Thank you.
Can I respond?
Absolutely, go ahead.
We don't see a lot of the good stuff that happens. And we, you know, us as parents, we all on this panel are parents. I don't know if you're a parent, Mr. Hall.
Yes, 2 kids.
All right. So we all are parents. So we pride ourselves in playing a big role in parenting, and doing a pretty good job at that. And I commend Reverend Fuzz for calling in, making that statement. But right now, I don't want to call it an epidemic, but we're living in this time. We can't ignore it. We cannot ignore it. You can't ignore it when you bury your child. You know, it's different when you bury your child. That's different. You know, you don't feel it until it happens to you. And now that it's happened to me, it's 5 years later. I don't want it to happen to nobody else.
That's right.
So whether we living in an epidemic or not, we have to recognize it's a problem. We have to take accountability and know that it's a problem, and we want to do something about it.
What do you think, Earl, about what Reverend Fuzz said and what Talia
I mean, he you know, Reverend Fuzz been out there a while. He knows, and I agree. You know, I grew up in the J.C. Napier homes in 1970, mother and father, baby of 4. And some of the things that I had back then, I'm talking about a community family. We don't have community families no more. You know, I went to the J.C. Napier Community Center and played basketball. I had a mentor by the name of Charles Davis. You know, best thing he could have did was going to the NBA in 1982 and coming back in that same year and giving us a basketball camp. That's how I fell in love working with kids, through him. And so everything he said was correct. And even in that, still, we got work to do. Everybody. You know, if we don't have the home that is equipped for raising this child, then you know what? If there's, and I know Reverend Fuzz and other pastors may have done it, we need to go into that home and not tell the parents what to do, but teach them. You know, and hopefully that kid who raised his hand, or the other kid who raised his hand, maybe, you know, in my school, you know, we want to make sure they're able to succeed. But we're seeing so many lives taken without use. And that's what's scaring the heck out of me, because that's my passion. You know, so I go with everything. The mental health, yes, there's some out there that is a mental health concept, but not all. You know, depends on how you label that mental health and what has transpired in what particular incident, and it's different.
That's right.
Heather Marriott says several prong approach needed. She says that on Facebook. And I guess that's what I'm hearing you all say.
Yes.
But it's fascinating how much you're talking about the home, and even you, with what happened to you, your husband. It's just so terrible. You're saying that was a situation that began as he was growing up.
I know how he grew up. You know, so per his admission, but like, it's not right for. I mean, you want to talk about people that have mental health issues, or something has happened to them, or some of the people that are going through rehab that have, you know, into drugs or whatever. Like, something has happened, whether it happened at home or during childhood, to make a fracture. So you have to have the proper guidance and help, you know, reinforcement at home. And what's the problem is really is we're in a society now where the family is broken. Mom and dad are not together. Well, that in itself is a huge burden for the child, because they're carrying the pain of, my mom and dad don't love each other, but I love them both. You know, so it's important that they're reinforced in a positive way, and you know, that it's not so negative. You know, you can't speak poorly about a child's mother or father, even though you may feel poorly about them. All
right, we have to take a break, and then we'll talk more. How do we do that? How do we accomplish that realistically? We'll take more of your comments, and we'll get to these calls. Melvin, Ross, others, hold on if you want to call in. There's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.